One of the most basic, fundamental, and essential concept in all of music theory is that of triads. They're usually the first chords we learn on piano or guitar or any instrument that plays chords. But I remember being a young guitar player and the first chords I learned involved 5 or 6 strings. And I thought to myself, how are these triads? Isn't a triad supposed to have 3 notes? Well, today we're going to discuss a method that involves playing triads on the top 3 strings of the guitar. So let's get started. For most guitar players, when we're starting out, we learn chords that look like this. Open position cowboy chords, as they like to call them. E minor, A minor, D, G, C. And these are all triads, except we're using 5 or 6 strings to play them. Now, as we discussed in a previous video, a triad is a group of 3 notes that is all separated by thirds. When we learn these chords on guitar, we're typically doubling a lot of notes. For instance, a G major triad is just G, B, and D. But when we play this voicing, we have G, B, D, G, D, or B, and then another G up top. So that's 3 Gs, 2 Bs, or 2 Ds. We're doubling up the notes. And so let's look at a way of playing these chords where we only have one of each. There's a logical system we can use to play triads on the top 3 strings, and they involve having the root note on the first string, having the root note on the second string, and finally having the root note on the third string. So let's start with root note on the first string. If we do this, we have our root, our fifth, and our third in that order. Now, let's play diatonic chords in the key of F using this system. I'll start here. My minor shape looks like this, just a bar. There's my G minor, my third chord, A minor, my fourth chord, B flat major. I go up a whole step, C major, I go up a whole step, D minor, I go up a whole step, E diminished, and finally, I land back on F. When we put the root note on the second string, our major chords look like this, a D major, classic shape. Our minor chords look like a D minor shape, except we're going to move them up. So let's play the key of D. D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor, C sharp diminished, and finally back to D major. And finally, we have the root note on the third string. We can start here with the first fret, third fret, third fret. This is a B flat major. And if we played it from the third string, it puts the triad in perfect order of root, third, fifth. Our minor shapes look like this. So if I do the key of B flat, I have B flat major, C minor, D minor, E flat major, F major, G minor, A diminished, and back to B flat. This can really open up the way that you see the fretboard, whether you're trying to harmonize a melody or improvise a lead part. For instance, the key of C no longer just looks like a box shape of a C major scale. It looks like a group of notes that all sound great up the fretboard, and they can be played individually too. One great exercise you can do to really get a handle on these triads is take a fairly straightforward and simple melody and try to harmonize it with these shapes. For instance, I'm going to try Amazing Grace in the key of G, and I'm going to start with this shape. Another G shape up there, down to a C shape, back to a G shape, higher G, up to a D shape here. Now I'm going to do a G shape up here. Back to G, down to C, back to G. I have an E minor here I like to throw in. One of the exciting, frustrating, and intimidating things about guitar is there are so many different ways to do things. So you want to break it into a system. We just did the top 3 strings, and once you really feel like you have those down, move on to the next 3 strings, the B, G, and D. Play your triads there. You're going to end up with different shapes. And a bunch of new possibilities.